academician, scholar, writer, and a management consultant. When I go through his bio, you would think this person's going to be 80 years old. This person's in his 30s. So that's what makes his accomplishments really astonishing. He's done a lot of training in his life. He's a recipient of the Best Speaker Award in the International Yoga Seminar. He's been proclaimed as the best speaker in a lot of national and international conferences. He's addressed the iWorld Spiritual Parliament in Hyderabad and the International Conference on Innovative Business Management as a keynote speaker. International Conference on Enterprise Systems and Best Management Practices organized by the Global Digital Business Society. His topics usually range from management to philosophy. And those are usually two topics that you don't tend to put together, but you'll understand why when I go through some of his qualifications. He's also shared his thought on the impact of Indian philosophy on modern management, and we're also appreciated at the Philosophy of Management Conference in Oxford, London, organized by the Cambridge University, UK, and at the International Conference for Entrepreneurship in Malaysia. So he's spent more than 3,000 hours during institutional, industrial, defense, civil services training. So that's what he does on a regular basis. He trains a lot of these folks in India and now in the UK as well as in the US. As far as his qualifications are concerned, he has a graduation in BBA, Business Administration, post-graduation in MBA with Marketing and HR as his focus. A doctorate in Business Management as well. He has crafted a multidisciplinary vision by doing formal education in journalism, public administration, philosophy, and yoga. And he's got the first rank in the university in all these different courses. So that explains how he's able to bring all these concepts together and create this multidisciplinary type of vision that he's going to share with us today. So I'm extremely excited to welcome Dr. Tomar and address us. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I guess I will not be needing it. Thank you very much for this opportunity of sharing some thoughts over emotional intelligence. Before I begin my talk, we are going to have a very small exercise because we have limited time to execute everything. So I'm going to distribute you some balloons, and what you are supposed to do is you need to inflate those balloons. And this is how we are going to enter into our talk today. I'll be giving you only 30 seconds to do that activity. Only 2-3 things you need to observe while you will be inflating it. One thing is, it should be inflated to the permissible limits. Second, you need to tie it by its own. You don't get any additional thread to tie it. You need to inflate it, tie it by its own, and make it sure it should be inflated up to the maximum possible capacity. So for that you have got only 30 seconds to do it. You need to inflate it and tie it, and for that you have 30 seconds. Make it fast. Check it. Oh, we have done it. Now what we are supposed to do is, are all of you know, do all of you know each other? No. What you need to do is, you need to write the name of the person on this with your ball pen. It should not be broken, fine, make it sure. But whose name will you write? The person seated either left or right of you. So you can do this, that the person who is seated left to you, you can write his name over this balloon. Fine? All of you. Make it 5. Means you will be writing his name and he will be writing your name. Write it down.
You're my husband, right?
I guess we met somewhere in Spain.
Everybody has done it? Can I see? Fine, good. Now, the biggest balloon people will stand up. You can stand up. People with biggest balloons. You can stand up. You can stand up.
My balloon, that's mine.
Okay. 2 people. Who was your counterpart? You got your counterpart? Yeah. Assure that the name of the person on the balloon should be there in the circle. See? Okay. If he's not there, you can call him. Come. Okay, you can call him. Call that person. Quick. Make a big circle. Bus. Thank you. Make a big circle. Circle. Now what you are supposed to do is, you need to throw this balloon. Throw it. Yes, just like this. About turn. About turn. About turn. At the moment I'll say, bring your balloons to me. What you are supposed to do is, just a second. You need to, don't turn back. Just a second. About turn, the moment, throw it down. The moment I'll say, search your balloon and bring it to me, what you need to do is, don't look back. About turn, don't look back. So what you are supposed to do is, you need to search your balloon and bring it here, right now to me. Let me see who brings it. Your time starts now. Do it fast. Search your own balloon. Quick. Quick. Yours? Fast. Is it yours? No, only your own balloon. Your own balloon you need to touch. Okay. You got your own? You got your own. Only 5 kilos. Only your own. You have 3 kilos. Shall we find? Thank you. Others can take your places. Only 3 people are leaving. They have come. Take their place.
I thought that I checked the timing 11, so it's
I'm sitting.
But you are. It's not yours.
Somebody else.
You can keep now your balloons with you.
He wouldn't let me stand up. I tried to stand up.
Thank you.
These 3 balloons I got, first 3 balloons I got. I'll keep it. Thank you very much. Dear friends, how many of you had not inflated balloons since last 2-3 years? Majority. While we were doing it, look, when we started and we gathered here to have a talk on emotional intelligence, we were very neutral in our thoughts when we had come here. But the moment I gave you a small exercise, it steered our emotions and we rushed towards it. What do you get? What is the learning that you can get out of this small exercise? What do you learn out of it? Anybody of you? Yes? You could inflate a balloon. Okay. Yes, you could inflate a balloon. This is what we learn. And what is
A couple of things.
Yes.
First of all, you can create a separation anxiety. All people who are sitting here.
Yes.
I'm not included in the better group.
Because
the group who were called aside, even though the balloon size has nothing to do with our lives, they have a special affinity toward each other.
Okay, that's great. What else? What else?
You focus on your task.
You focus on the task, okay?
Since competition is imposed on us, that we want to win, and then they are in the competition.
Okay, competition was imposed upon us and we wanted to win. What else?
You become like a kid.
You became like a kid. Okay, what else?
I felt bad now because I didn't make it.
You couldn't make it big. This is what she is talking about. Fine, what else? What else?
And we were about to ride it, like I was kind of tense, like I shouldn't pop the balloon.
Okay. It shouldn't be broken. You were concerned? Yes, sir.
You acted as a catalyst for others to induce that anxiety.
Okay.
People becoming selfish that I want to win.
Beautiful. People became selfish, I want to win. Has it got something connected with our topic today?
I was thinking of more of time factor. I finished in 50.
Okay. It should be done fast. Very good. Dear friends, it is very much connected with our topic. Look, as it is said, Sat Chitanand, the goal of every goal of life is what? Peace and happiness. And whatever we are doing, you have got from India, you came here and got settled in USA. You are doing your job, you are doing your business for what? You are doing everything to finally, you need to sleep well in night and you need to have peace and happiness in your life. And this balloon has got very much connected with that. When we say happiness, it is an emotion. It is a feeling.
that we have in the heart of our heart. When we say happiness is the underlying feeling, it is an emotion that we have in the heart of the heart. This balloon is nothing but happiness. And this is how the world is created. God created this world and God made one balloon for every person, a balloon of happiness. This balloon, and God wrote the name of the person over that balloon. This is Vikrant's happiness. This is Vidya's happiness. This is Daksha's happiness. This is Rajesh's happiness. So God created world, 6 Arab people in this world, and 6 Arab balloons are there in this world. God created the world and threw the balloon inside. And then we started our journey to search our own balloon of happiness. But what happened in that journey? What happened here also? It was a small prototype of what is happening in the world also. God said, now you can begin your journey, and the moment we started our journey, you see, we were so much focused. He is correct. We had less time. He was correct. We had anxiety. Look, our emotions got steered within a second. A second we were neutral. A second before we were neutral at the adobe of heaven. But the moment we took birth, our emotions got steered and we started because we had less time. It was competition. We need to win in time. And so many things started. And we became kid all of a sudden, as you said. We all became children all of a sudden. With the variety and different aspects of our thinking, we became children. But then you see what happened is, if you could observe what happened. The moment I said, bring your balloon, search your balloon, what happened is, Satish started searching his balloon. The moment he was rushing searching his balloon, he found Rajesh's balloon and he kicked. He found Ravi's balloon and he kicked. He found somebody else's balloon and he kicked. While Satish was kicking Rajesh's balloon here, Rajesh was kicking Satish's balloon there. We all were kicking each other's balloon because we were focused. On what we were focused? We were focused in searching only our happiness. We wanted nothing but my balloon out of so many balloons. So there were many balloons that came in between and I kicked. While I was kicking, I did not know it was somebody's happiness I am kicking. It was somebody is dying to get it and I am kicking it. Some of the other people, some of the balloon got inflated and some of the balloon got burst also in between. Why some of the balloon burst? Because of the friction in between. And this is what happens in the world also. We all are searching the same thing, happiness. But that is creating friction between people. People are rushing to search their own balloon and that is creating friction between them and some of the balloons. Such soft happiness gets burst because we don't handle it with care. And same happens in the organizations also. A leader gets balloons of all his subordinates. But leader is so much focused to get his own balloon from his senior that he never bothers to give his balloons of their juniors down the line. And this is what happens. We are so focused. Can't we have done another thing? Did I tell you that you need to be the first person to bring that balloon? I did not. You listened it. I told, bring your balloons to me. First you heard. I did never use that word. You thought you need to be the first to bring it. And then you rushed. I never said that you should be the first, but you thought because we have become grown accustomed to be the first. Couldn't we have done that we shouldn't, instead of rushing, we could have stood then and there only, and whatever balloon must have come into our hands, Manoj, we could have mentioned the name of the person Manoj and could have given him like this. I could have mentioned the name of the person and could have given his balloon. What would be the life then? So gracefully I would have given balloon to that person. If Ravi has given balloon to Manoj, Manoj could have given balloon to Rajesh, Rajesh could have given balloon to somebody else. It would be easier, less time consuming, less fatigue, less problematic, and it would have brought so many good relations between people because somebody gave you your happiness. And while you are busy in giving others their happiness, someday somebody will knock your door and give you your own balloon at your doorstep because you care to give others their balloons. We are so busy in searching for our balloons that we forget at times we are crushing many balloons below our feet because we are not bothered. So many balloons. In Mumbai, every morning 2 crore people goes out of their homes to search their own balloons. Until evening, not more than 2,000 people get their balloons. What? Why it happens? And all of others, they come back with a feeling of failure. Feeling of failure that I couldn't get it, my balloon is smaller, and so many feelings. Couldn't it happen the other way around? And that way world could have become so beautiful. Because you understand, your balloon of happiness is only used for you only. Nobody else can use it. There is no need to rush. There is no need to rush. And what happened is, after this rush hour, you see, within 5 minutes, only 3 people could bring their balloons. Others were still searching. Now you imagine if into 20 people, this mass was created that 2 balloons got burst. You can imagine had there been 2,000 people here. You can imagine had there been 2 lakh people here in a bigger circle. You can imagine in India there are 100 crore people, 120 crore people in a bigger circle, and in this world there are 6 Arab people in a bigger circle and searching for balloons, and that creates mess out of life. So a food for thought is, look how emotions takes birth. Emotions, how does they take birth? We were neutral and suddenly we became child. Imagine of a child who does not have a father, who was grown up in an orphanage. Because he was grown up in an orphanage, what will happen to him? He may take wrong habits. He may not be directed properly well, and maybe he may create a mess out of his own life. And now think of a child who had his father or mother or parents with him. He was properly nourished. He was always taken care of. He was always guided in small bits and bits, and that made what he is today. Do you know what this child is? Our Yoga Sutra says, this child is our man. Our mind is that child. And the parent is intellect. There are only 2 most important things when you say emotional intelligence. Intellect and emotions. It is just like child and father relationship. Emotions are child. And intellect is father. If emotion is guided by intellect, then only it can think in the right direction. But if emotions are not guided by intellect, intellect represents thought. If our emotions are guided by thoughts, they will be in the right direction. Emotions, like for example here, none of us could actually think that being at the same place we could have gracefully given balloons to each other and made this world beautiful. This is a thought. Had anybody of us had this thought in his mind, he would not have seen things in that emotions, because our emotions are always thought driven. Intellect represents thought. Mind represents emotions. Mind always lingers around what I like and what I dislike, but thought thinks what is right and wrong. Mind is always concerned about pain and pleasure. What gives me pleasure should be done, and what gives me pain should be removed. But intellect always thinks what is right, wrong, logical it is. It knows it is a choice. And the chemistry between mind and intellect is emotional intelligence. How can our emotions be intelligent? How can it be the way we wanted it to be? And the topic of our talk today is that only. You must have heard that small story, that there was a merchant, he wanted to tie his 10 camels, but unfortunately he had only 9 threads with him. So he couldn't understand. There was a saint there. He went to the saint and he asked his problem, that I have only 9 ropes, but there are 10 camels, how to tie them? I have already torn 9 camels, but the 10th one is remaining, what to do? That saint asked, does that camel knows that you don't have another rope? So he said no. Then he said, then what? Go and tie him. So he said, how could I tie? Because I don't have the rope. Again saint asked, does that camel knows? He said no. He said, go and tie the way you used to do. He went and he acted around his neck. He acted as if he is really tying a rope, and then he tied him. He was whole night a bit worried whether camel will run away or not, but in morning he saw that camel was seated there only. And then in morning he was very happy. He thanked the merchant, he thanked the saint, and he about to leave. The moment he was about to leave, again he faced a problem that all 9 camels were ready to leave, but that camel was not ready to stand up even. Again he went to the saint and he said, this camel is not coming up. The saint asked, did you untie the rope? He said, I didn't tie him. Sent again asked, does that camel lose? He said, no, then untie him. He went and he untied him. The moment he untied the camel, camel stood up and he started going with him. This camel is our mind. It never knows. It only feels. It is the intellect that ties him at times. So when we say emotional intelligence, it is our ability to tie a rope around the mind, rope around our emotions.